Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here today with Dan Hilton from the ATA Moving and Storage Conference. What's going on, Dan? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Ben? Thanks for having me
Dan, I
today.
couldn't be better, man. I'm getting pumped, dude. I got my hat on, man. This is my party
Yeah,
hat. When you see this hat, dude, it's happening. It's going down. We're gonna have some fun, dude.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm wearing this hat for a very special reason, though, because I'm going to a very special place in March, Dan. Do you know where that place is going to be, Dan?
I think is it in the city of Nashville?
Yes, it's in the city of Nashville. Dang it, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it all. I had the great pleasure of going to the ATA conference last year, the Moving and Storage Conference, and I just had so much fun in Nashville last year, and I'm so thrilled that we're going to be back there again in March next year. What are the dates, Dan?
It is March 15th and 17th. And I'll correct you because I've been doing it for the past month. It's still last year still happened this year. Last year happened in March 2025. So we need to get to a couple more weeks till we can actually say last year's event. But
You know what? You're right. You're right, Dan.
I'm looking forward to that happening.
I'm very futuristic. I'm very forward thinking. Get in the comments, Shaw. Let me know what else I'm wrong about. Get in the comments, y'all. Let me know who you are, where you are. Check in with us. Are you looking forward to going to the ATA's Moving and Storage Conference in Nashville? Have you been to an ATA Moving and Storage Conference? What do you think? What has been your favorite experience? If not, have you been to Nashville? I mean, is my hat amazing? Get in the comments. Let us know. Is it crazy? I don't know. I had some incredible experiences. I actually brought my whole team last year, and we just had a phenomenal experience. Probably my favorite ATA Moving and Storage Conference yet. And I'm just thrilled to see what you guys do, what you have in store for us next year.
Yeah, I remember podcasting over banana pudding last year, you and I, right in the hallways.
I don't know if it can be topped. I mean, is there a
No.
different dessert platform that we're going to use this year?
Well, a lot of our planning is very well underway, which we'll talk about. But I think the one thing we haven't talked about is desserts. That's going to be a 2026 item.
I feel like you should call me and I should consult on
We
that.
will. Yeah,
I'm here for you. I would tend to go towards maybe a bourbon bread pudding, perhaps a Tennessee whiskey inspired infused bread pudding, perhaps. I mean, I'm
I
here
love
for
it.
you, Dan. That's all I'm
I love
saying.
it.
Yeah, I'm here for you. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know who you are, where you are. Yeah, I'm thrilled about this. Let's see here. And Dan, we got oh, look at Janet Turner's checking in. Hey, what's up, Janet? We saw the Dean Van Lines folks there. Oded's around here. Hey, Samara, can you tag Oded here? Wake him up. He's probably sleeping on the job again. Yeah, let him know we're out here. Dan, let us know though. What do we got to look forward to at the Moving and Storage
Well, we've
Conference this
got,
year?
you mentioned Odette. He is a tremendous resource for us. He's our vice chair, who's also on our steering committee. So we talk quite frequently of a lot of the sessions that we're going to have. But we're going to have a lot of new content, lot of great content, starting with our economic panel. Folks have told us, we asked for everyone's feedback. They told us they want to see virtually the same speakers every 6 months to look at what they said 6 months ago, look at the data points because they use that stuff to help drive their business. So we're going to have kick right off with some economic speakers. Then we're going to jump into government contracting. Doing work with the government, whether it's state, local, or federal, can be very lucrative, very consistent business. But breaking into it can be very difficult. How you navigate the sam.gov, the website, how you sell your services to the government is going to be something that we teach our attendees. But again,
I love
go
that,
ahead.
Dan. I'm just going to pop on that real quick, hop on that because, we talk to a lot of movers. We talk to a lot of business development people in the moving and relocation industry. And yeah, obviously you have the massive military
Mhm.
program, right? The multi-billion-dollar military DP3 program. But you also have the GSA program, which is the second largest customer in moving. And then on the local level, you have all of the city and municipality. I mean, all the school districts, all the voting machine storage business. I mean, there's so much business that goes through government buildings at the local level. And I hear from my moving customers all the time that commercial moving is really where it's at right now in 2025, 2026. You know, when the housing market is kind of gunked up with interest rates kind of being where they are and people being kind of upside down in their interest rate, that really commercial moving is where it's at. And frankly, the government pays, you know, sometimes better than anybody. So I love that you're focusing on that. I really do.
Well, interestingly, it's not just that session that we're going to be holding that on, but the second day, day 2, we're also going to be focusing on corporate, industrial, and office relocations. Because as you said, you know, businesses need to diversify. If homeowners aren't relocating or moving, there's a lot of other opportunities out there. So we're going to hear from some experts on the corporate and office and industrial relocation industry to inform folks.
Yeah, it's really heating up. I mean, we've seen so many job postings right now for salespeople in those verticals with corporate relocation, for O&I, office and industrial, for FF&E, furniture, fixtures, and equipment, for hotel projects, things like that. To your point, you know, it's really, people are really gearing up for an enormous 2026, I think. Get in the comments, y'all. What do you think right now? What are you seeing out there? I know Janet's seeing Dan's background is lit. It is, right? I mean, he's got the snake plant going, very water efficient plant. I happen to know.
We were going to put some moving trucks up here because we have a lot of them down in our office space, but we didn't want to, you know, feature one company and exclude another. So we decided not to.
Dude, I had a Christmas party here recently and people came in and they were giving me so much grief because I had like this van line or I had that van line's truck and I didn't have this one, and I'd leave my office and I'd come back and somebody turned all the trucks upside down, and like it was just so petty. It was crazy. I'm like, well, send me more trucks, y'all. If you want your van line truck featured, send it.
We may have had a moving company FedEx a truck up for our call on Washington. So it arrived to our headquarters the following day. That's a 3-day event, so they made sure it was there for the final day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, send Dan trucks, send Ben trucks. Dan, you know, we have a lot in common.
We do.
Did you know that my first name was Dan? Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, I was actually named after you, Dan. Did you?
Oh,
know
okay.
That? Yeah. My son's name is also Dan. I named him after you too.
Nice. Do you want to know where my parents got that name?
Was it my grandfather?
No, it was the Elton John song.
Which Elton John song?
Daniel.
Oh, Daniel. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That was on the radio, and they just decided, hey, let's go with that.
You know, things were simple back then, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
They weren't
I think I'm a little older than you, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I hope so. Daisy says, hey, Dan Hilton, we loved ATA Moving and Storage Conference in March. Still talking about it around the office. Great. Yeah, the whole team is super jazzed about Nashville. Get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. Let us know what you're looking forward to in Nashville. What's your favorite thing to do in Nashville? We talked a little bit about the programming. I like the fact that you're focusing on sales and business development. Mm-hmm. I know that, you know, when we're going to talk about the advocacy piece, and I know that y'all do that in spades. But why is it important to focus on the sales and biz dev piece?
Well, you know, I think that's really the heart and the foundation of trade associations. Whether it is advocacy or business development, it's trying to help your members' bottom line. That's what keeps them engaged and keeps them, you know, active in their association. Whether you're giving them the opportunity to advocate, like we have been for the past year in military moves, giving them the opportunity to advocate for programs and policies that benefit their company, or bringing them, you know, subject matter experts on how to find new revenue streams, or, you know, when you look at our exhibit floor, bringing in allied members who want to do business with them to help, you know, offer a new service or a product that helps their company be more efficient. Ultimately, you know, bringing in, you know, more revenue and saving their bottom line.
Yeah, I think that is so important because, you know, the advocacy piece is really awesome, and we're going to talk about that. But for me as a business owner, it's like if I go somewhere and I spend money to get there, I want to make sure that I leave with like some ROI like immediately. I want to go home with something actionable that I can do in my business to earn more revenue and to generate some either more profit at the bottom line or more top line revenue. And I think that's really cool about the ATA MSC is that you kind of do both, right? You learn
Sure.
how to make more money from a revenue standpoint and sell more, and then you learn operational techniques on how to keep it in the business as well.
I think the third prong of that is also networking. I mean, you're meeting with folks that you can do business with. They may be on the other side of the country. You develop a relationship with them to fulfill a lot of jobs that you need done from the other side of the country. Networking, I think, is one of the third prong of this between education and advocacy and data and things like that. The networking can't be underestimated or undersold.
Yeah, for sure. I want to talk a little bit about the networking and how do you facilitate networking and how do you create those moments?
Well, that's a great question. So we have our exhibit hall. We've pretty close to doubled the size of our exhibit space. So folks will arrive on Sunday. We have a great happy hour, very robust happy hour with all our exhibitors. But then the following day, we have 4 sessions with our exhibitors. Obviously the 2 meals, breakfast and lunch, followed by a mid-afternoon break, and then another happy hour. Then really the 2 key things are after hours. Now last year, I think as you'll recall, I think you were there. We did it on the roof of the hotel, which was great. We're going to do it on another spot, same roof, great outdoor exposure overlooking the city of Nashville, but it's going to be open to everyone. We don't have to worry about one segment coming and not including the rest of the industry. So this is going to be open to everyone. Then the following day, a real big event, as you recall, is our Movers Bash. Yeah. Now, if I hadn't said this, I've been involved in trade associations since 2010. I've never experienced going to a convention back in the same city back to back. Nashville is the first time that we're doing this. I can't think of a better city to go back to, and that's been all the feedback that we've gotten. We're going to the exact same location, and that Movers Bash is going to be at Martin's Barbecue, where it was last year. And I kid you not, there hasn't been one person that says, "Oh, we're going back to the same location." Everyone has said, "Can we go back to the same location?"
Yeah.
So, and
I'm excited about it too. I'm excited about it too because you get to know these cities right by the end of the conference. And honestly, I always leave and I'm like, gosh, I wish I would have had the opportunity to go here, or I wish I got to do this again. And I feel like now, like I've got it figured out, and I know everything I want to do, and I've got my game plan. I'm going to the listening room. I'm going to Jelly Roll spot. I've got it all planned. I've got Morgan Wallen's spot planned out. I've got it all planned out. I'm definitely hitting Hattie B's. I missed Hattie B's last time. I'm hitting Hattie B's. I'm skipping Bolton's chicken because it was way too hot. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like Nashville hot chicken, to be honest with you. I went to Hattie B's in Birmingham, Alabama, but I haven't been to the one in Nashville.
Yeah, so I've got it all mapped out for myself, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, I'm excited about going back as well. I'm really thrilled about it. And I'm going to go back to one thing that you were talking about, kind of from a networking standpoint. One of the things that strikes me as like kind of different about the ATA MSC that I really love is the room is such a great room. Mm-hmm. It's all CEOs in the room. Like, I mean, not exclusively, and I know it's not exclusive to just CEOs and presidents and owners. But when I look around the room, I'm like, this room is really chock full of principals. And it's unlike any other room really that I go into in the moving and relocation space, in that everyone there, I mean, almost everyone there is, not only a decision maker, but like an owner of a company, and that's rare. It's almost like a mastermind room, to be honest with you.
Well, that was the word I was going to use. They're not just owners, but they're decision makers. They're the ones who decide what products and services from the exhibitor standpoint, who to invest in, what services and products to invest in to make their business more profitable, more efficient, to help that bottom line. But you're right. This really is, our industry Super Bowl. It's, and that's, I think, the the pinnacle of what a trade association strives to be is to, put on that event that the industry, will not miss. And that's, that's what we wake up to and work on every day.
And when I sit there in the audience and we're watching, a learning, or we're watching, someone present an idea, and I'm sitting there next, like between two CEOs, and I'm like, hey, do y'all do this? And they're like, yeah, we do this, and it's worked out really well for us. I'm like, hey, do you do this? No, we tried it, and it failed miserably. Like, this is BS. It doesn't work. And like right there, you get off the rip, like you get real, candid, unvarnished opinions from people who are running businesses who have done it, and it's just so invaluable. The quality of and networking is so it's almost overused to the point where, I mean, this isn't a BNI group, right? Like, this isn't like your local neighborhood Rotary Club. Like, this is like the people, the quality and the caliber of businesses that they're running, everything from $1 million moving companies to, $500 million moving companies. I mean, it's really incredible the size of the businesses that people are running.
The thing that also inspires me, I was at a couple of state organizations this fall, Pennsylvania, for example, Pennsylvania Moving and Storage Association. It's really inspiring seeing younger one truck fleet owners talking to veterans in the industry, because that's what it's all about. Those veterans passing down those years of experience. Because like you said, you may get lucky and buy an existing company, but many times they're starting with one truck. They have to grow it. It's these networking opportunities where they learn how to grow it, which really leads to another point with what we do with the independents. If we could touch on that,
yeah, let's talk about what do y'all do with the independents?
Sure. We call it speed mentoring, where we have 3 subject matter experts. They convene groups of about 20 to 25 in a hollow square, and they give 5 to 10 minute presentation, but really lead a discussion on a certain topic. And the topics we're going to be talking about: claims, telematics, which I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to be sitting.
We're going to learn. I don't either. I don't know either.
As well as training. So they'll lead a discussion for a few minutes, but the discussion really just feeds off itself. They'll just talk about things that they've tried, like you just said, they've tried and it hasn't worked, or ultimately they'll get a new idea that they've never even thought of. And that's really that's one of the more valuable things we provide our independent movers. The second one being, and really one of the more popular, is our dueling perspectives.
That's the one I was hoping you were going to talk about, because this one is fun. All this needed was some folding chairs, and it was going to turn into a WWE SmackDown. I love this one because it encourages debate. Too often we sit there in the audience and everybody on the panel agrees, and they're like, I agree with Joe, I agree with Jane, I just want to piggyback and say, yes, I agree also. And it's like, no, I want to hear people take different sides of this argument and duke it out. And I love that about the dueling perspectives.
And the two great things that we can announce and talk about is, number one, we're going to have technology where the audience can vote in the app. They can vote who they believe was the winner of making that point. And then the second one is, gosh, I forgot my point. Oh, the folks on the stage, as well as those that have been putting it on, the independent movers like Justin Hart, Derek Potter, who they're very pleased that there's nothing competing with this session. They will have the entire conference to themselves in the audience, presenting. So the independent movers are very excited to have nothing competing with this session.
Yeah, it's great. Ruthie saying dueling perspectives was so fun. Can't wait to see who will win. And I love that. And you actually declare a winner, right? Mm-hmm. So often we don't actually want to declare a winner. Like, oh, good job, everybody. You were great. You were great. No, I want a winner. Okay, I'm competitive. I want a winner. I want to say your argument was better than your argument. Let's score it up. Let's tally it up. And instead of like, let's clap and then Oded just makes it up, I want to actually tabulate the votes, and I want to say you're better than you, and you made the most sense, and let's have something empirical here. I love this idea. This is fabulous.
We're going to be able to do it. I'm excited because I wasn't able to attend last year, so I'm excited to be able to see it for the first time.
Yeah, this created great debate, and because of the competition, you had people like actually digging deep and trying to be really good with their points. And
Yeah, that's a
I
great
thought that was
point.
fantastic.
That's a good point. You can't just, agree, say
Play
I
it
agree with
safe.
what they just. You have to make a point and dive deeper.
Exactly. So the stakes were raised there, and that was fantastic. It's a really great it's a really great format, and I'll say honestly, I applaud the courage of the Independent Movers Committee for doing it because a lot of people shy away from the conflict, right? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to create conflict. These are my friends, and I don't want anybody to look bad. But you know what? I think one of the cool things about movers is they're courageous. They
Hmm.
are, out there. They are brave. They are opinionated. And they know what they know, and they go to the mats, and at
And
the end
this
of
was
the
an
day, we just
industry
have a beer
willing
about it.
this was an industry willing to take on the Department of Defense. I mean,
Yes.
they signed their name to their positions. My previous association, we used to always say, "Let us be the bad guy." We
Yeah.
were happy to be the bad guy and put our association's name before any conflicting or controversial positions. This industry was energized to put their name to these positions, and it's inspiring.
Yeah, I love it. And to your point, I've never met another industry or set of business owners who have actually sued their biggest client before, right? And I mean, the
Yeah.
movers have sued, their biggest clients several times and still come together and have an amicable conversation and do business and support one another, but you're right. Movers are just built different. And I love
But
it. So
I think on that topic specifically, I think the atmosphere and the relations have never been better before between the industry and Transcom. And to be honest with you, we've been talking with them quite frequently. This is on their radar. I think they'll be able to attend. They used to attend in the past, but we do have a session dedicated to military and moving. Doing this in the first day, that's no more feedback that we got from our attendees in the past. In the past, folks would put this at the very last because it was so important, and that's how you keep your attendees. But they said, let's move it up and do it on the first day. So we are going to do a session, already being planned in the works on best value scoring. This is an important customer. You have a poor move, you have one person on your crew get a poor negative rating from a military family that puts your company at risk to losing some of this business. So how you get good scores, how you train your team to make sure that you get good scores is something that we're gonna talk about as well.
I love it. I do love that too, because so oftentimes, folks have to get back. They have to go home. They have to get back for a kid's, football game or whatever, and they have to leave, and they might miss that, very, very important session. And I love the fact that you're not burying the lead. You're putting it right up front
Yeah,
with this very important
well
session.
put.
So, yeah, hey, that's what I do, Dan. All right. That's that SUNY Albany education right there, coming in play there. Um, that's why, that's another thing, Dan, we got in common, right? You're a
Yeah,
SUNY guy, huh?
I'm a SUNY guy. I'm a Great Laker. You're a Great Dane.
Great
We are both.
Daner, Great Laker.
I'm
I
not,
feel
not
like
just
I feel like in some way SUNY feels like they got to compensate. Every mascot's not just a mascot; it's a great mascot.
It's a great mascot. It is.
It's a great mascot. That's great. Caleb Burke saying, "I'm looking forward to the Movers Bash." Yes, Nashville has the best rooftops,
Yeah.
bar none.
Don't forget the Movers Bash. I don't know if you were involved in it, but they had those dartboards. Very poorly positioned, like right between the bathroom and the bar, but I'd never seen 4 sets of dartboards all being active and people waiting to get into a game. So we might have to do something around competitive around the darts as well.
I do remember the dartboards, and I'm a larger man, so it was very
No,
precarious. Me trying to slide through, and get to that bathroom without catching a dart to the spleen, uh, like Will Ferrell with dart to the neck. Yeah. Now the Movers Bash was great. It was a great venue too. I remember hanging out afterwards too, and kind of was the last night, and you and I actually were hanging out a little bit, and it was kind of
yeah,
cool to. That's where you get to kind of relax after it's all done, right?
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big. That's a lot of work you guys put into this, huh? How hard is it putting together an event like this, Dan?
Well, we have here at ATA, we have a tremendous team of first our meetings and events team. We met with them just this morning looking at different layouts of the room. But as you work, and the folks you work with, our marketing team, like we're doing right here, helping to promote this event, sell this event. So I wouldn't say it's hard work because we have such great folks behind the scenes working on it. And like I said, just today, we approved the layout for the room. We confirmed 2 speakers. So I would say close to 75% of our day at the least is working on the annual meeting at this point. And, the exciting thing is almost every session is virtually, nailed down. So we get to come back after the holidays and really promote this thing and start selling it and reminding folks why they should come. So we don't have to chase down speakers, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. And we could finally say, we could talk about Nashville of March 25 as last year's event.
There you go. I want to know how did you get into associations though? I mean, obviously this has to be, not just a job, but there has to be, a passion behind this. How'd you get into
I was on the Hill for about 10 years, and I got a unique opportunity to open the Washington office of a trade association. They were located in Chicago, and this was right in 2010. So this is right at the heart of, it was just after the Affordable Care Act had passed, and they knew they wanted representation full-time in Washington. So I opened up their Washington office. So I like to say I was doing remote before remote was a thing. I was doing it from my kitchen table before Zoom existed, before Teams existed. But ironically, my experience with trade associations goes back to the 80s. Funny story. My father was active in the National Association of Electrical Distributors, NAED. And I used to go to those conventions. I'm the youngest, so they would bring me to some of their conventions. And I still remember it was their final event. It was in that hotel is still around. It's the Desert Springs Marriott and the Marriott in Palm, the JW Marriott in Palm Desert. And the final event is kind of like their Movers Bash. It was a casino night. And after you turn in your chip, you just play for non-denominational chips. But when you turn in your chips, you get raffle tickets. And folks started just giving me their stacks of raffle tickets. And third prize, this is 1987. Third prize was a bag phone. I'm not sure if you remember those.
Like a phone you carried in a bag, like a cell phone, but in a bag.
Yeah, that was third prize. Second prize was a trip.
Cadillac Eldorado.
Yeah, was a trip anywhere. I won't say anywhere in the United States, but sort of one of the big cities, possibly Disney World in the United States. And then the grand prize was your choice of Rome or Paris or London and Monte Carlo. And I was holding that ticket.
Wow.
I was in fifth grade. I was holding the grand prize ticket, and the feeling was exactly like Family Feud. The end of Family Feud when you win and the whole family's on stage and jumping up and down.
Yeah.
It was just like that. It was just like, we were all jumping up and down like we won the grand prize, which is what we did.
Well, were they trying to be your best friend because they wanted to go with you? Were they trying to convince you that, hey, listen, you got to give that to mom and dad?
It was for I think it was just in the heat of the moment, but obviously my parents went. At the time they said, family vacation, but as they said, your vacation was mom and dad getting, going away for a week. So you got to live without mom and dad for a week.
So you got to Home Alone and they went to Rome.
Yeah, with my grandparents.
There you go. Oh man. Well, that's a great story. I got a funny ATA conference story from back in the 60s, 70s, I think. My grandfather, my stepfather, his grandfather was a salesperson in the trucking industry. And I didn't know this until he was like 85 years old, and he was kind of like, I don't want to say on his deathbed, but he was kind of getting there, right? And he was telling us all these stories and stuff. And he used to sell for all these different trucking firms, right? And he'd go to, I think it was the ATA conference. I really do. I think it was ATA's been around that long. I'm guessing.
We turn 100 in 33. So
okay, so this still checks
90s.
Out.
Yeah.
So he's at the ATA conference in Los Angeles, I think he said it was, and they go out and they have a big night. It's back in the day, right? 60s, 70s or something, right? And he goes out with this guy, Joe, And Joe's like, hey, come have one more down at the bar with me, And he's like, no, I better get back to the room, whatever. He goes to sleep. And the next day, they knock on his door and they're like, yeah, have you seen Joe? When was the last time you saw Joe? He's like, oh, I turned in about 12:30 at night, whatever. And they said Joe was found in his hotel room, deceased.
I've heard that happen before. It's happened to my wife's organization.
Oh my God.
That's happened before.
Yeah. So anyway, but nothing like that's gonna happen this year or last year.
Way to bring things down.
Yeah. I mean, listen, let's be honest. We don't have that kind of fun anymore. I'll be honest with you. As
No.
much as I say, hey, we're gonna go party in Nashville. It's a very tame crowd these days.
It is.
It's very Bush Light kind of crowd. It's not like it used to be. No, but no, it's a good time it's a good time in Nashville. Anyway, what are you looking forward to most personally, Dan?
I'm really looking forward to, what I've been here a year, August. So, as soon as I joined, or I started working here, we had our call on Washington. Right after that, we started planning for the annual meeting. So, as I said, a lot of the stuff behind the scenes had been done. And as I said, I've been involved in trade associations since 2010. So I've been to a lot of conventions. I know what I like. I know what I've experienced. So this year's been a great opportunity for me to really roll up my sleeves and put a lot of some of my views and personal touches on this program. So I'm really looking forward to walking in, A, knowing a lot more people than I did last year, and B, knowing every detail of the meeting, what's going to be happening, because I've been involved in planning a lot of it.
Talk about that call on Washington. Tell people
Sure.
what that's all about and why you do it.
Sure. ATA's call on Washington is really one of our crown jewel programs. We have bar none, we've got the best advocacy team in all of Washington. Matter of fact, our CEO, Chris Spear, testified just yesterday on cargo theft. And that was probably about the 12th time ATA in some fashion, whether it's our staff or our members, testified in Washington. Point being, 435 members of the House, 100 members of the Senate, they all know the American Trucking Association. They know all of my colleagues on the Hill. So our call on Washington program is you arrive on Tuesday, and we do this for many state delegations, and they will go up with in advocate for ATA priorities. But our call on Washington, our members arrive on Tuesday. They'll get a briefing from that staff that I was mentioning on what the moving and storage priorities are. Then we spend all day on Wednesday on the Hill, followed by we come back on Thursday and we'll have some more content, kind of like we were talking about before. The FMCSA will come and speak to our members. We'll have an economics panel, followed by a board meeting. So it really is, like I said, our call on Washington program really is the crown jewel, because it enables members. They know our issues. A lot of times, a lot of associations that have very unique niche issues, if you're only going up there once a year, chances are they're not going to know your issues. But with our members, they're going in so frequently, you can actually have a conversation with these members because they know the issues inside and out. It's also been very beneficial because our members have come up with a lot of actionable items. We've had the GAO report, as you know, that a lot of them contributed to a year ago on military moving. That was conceived during a call on Washington. And then once it was in draft legislation, we were able to reinforce how important it was for the industry to ensure that it was signed into law. So it's just a really unique and very important part of our advocacy and our offerings to our members.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I hear people talking about most when they talk about, why ATA is the fact that, the representation in Washington is unparalleled. I mean, I think, ATA is one of the biggest associations in the country, right?
Well, as our CEO says, I want to say, trucking is, the I wouldn't say most popular, but the most populous job in about 20 states. I mean,
wow.
you look at, I think I overheard a statistic about 70 to 80% of the goods transported are through trucks. So it's a very, very important part of our economy. Our economy can't flourish without the trucking industry.
So what's the biggest change right now that we're advocating for as an industry?
Well, as we mentioned before, I think a lot of the tension, quite frankly, with the military moves, I think that's behind us. I think the industry is in a great spot with going forward with how it will be operated, which gives us the opportunity to concentrate on other things like consumer awareness. That's become a passion of mine when I joined MSC, is helping the consumer not get defrauded, not get scammed by rogue operators. So we have several priorities. Again, also a benefit of this past year's call on Washington. Several priorities that we've submitted to the committees who are now drafting the surface transportation reauthorization, which is about a 5-year. Every 5 years they reauthorize major legislation that authorizes highway programs, bridges, and programs such as that. And we're taking this opportunity to push a lot of things like making stronger broker registrations, enforcing the laws that are on the books already, improving the safer website. You and I are in this industry, and I think that website is probably confusing for folks in the industry, let alone consumers who may not even know how to find it, let alone navigate it. And I think that's a problem because the bad guys take advantage of that, and we need to crack down on it. The other two things are name spoofing. A lot of states, you can't have two businesses with the same name at the federal level. You can. We're trying to crack down on that. And then finally, it shouldn't be a heavy lift, but creating an industry task force with FMCSA, having them consistently meeting with us to hear about some of these new issues that are coming up with regards to consumer fraud, I think is vital.
Yeah, I would love to work maybe more hand in hand, not to say that we don't, right? But more hand in hand with FMCSA and law enforcement so that we could see more enforcement against rogue operators, right? Because it does feel like, hey, as movers, we're getting all this market feedback about these operators. FMCSA is over here, writing regulations about them and kind of existing at maybe a policy level or whatever. And then law enforcement is the boots on the ground that gets called when something's held hostage. And we're all kind of, operating in these silos. And it'd be nice if there was a task force where we all kind of came together and knew how to operate together, especially since a lot of these scams are operating across state lines, and it's really kind of our federal.
I hesitate to say this, on this recording, but it really is a perfect crime. I mean, they take, you move from, let's say, Pennsylvania is your origin, your destination is Florida. Well, it never gets there. Well, which law enforcement agency do you contact? They know this. The bad guys know this. They know it's difficult for you to contact the right law enforcement folks. So we need to do more. I look forward to working on that.
Yeah, really, really does. Do you see a point in time where movers are licensed or are the word mover is kind of treated like the word realtor, or handled in the same way from a professionalism and a standards standpoint?
That is a good question. I don't know off the top of my head, but that's another, ultimately the focal point of what we do is we advocate for the quote professional mover. And I agree with you that is a great thought to how do we, because I used to represent civil engineers, and they weren't just quote engineers with a lowercase e, they were licensed professional engineers. The PE, that's a very specific distinction that they valued so much. Preserving that and making licensure stricter in many ways, I think that's a good thought.
Yeah, yeah, because on the one hand, as business owners, right, we always want less regulation, but on the other hand, regulation is a moat that keeps out a lot of bad
Yeah,
actors too, right,
yeah.
and protects good actors. So
Yeah, I think for good and for bad, the barrier to entry sometimes is too easy, and it allows the really bad guys who are only there to defraud the consumer. Um, it's too easy for them to enter the industry, so we need to
yeah,
make it a little bit more difficult.
yeah, it's too easy for them to look like a real mover on Google or Yelp or wherever, right? And
And
so
the truth is, they're not joining the trade association either. So
no,
if I talk to folks, and I have to tell them, we're not law enforcement, even if they are members, even in, heaven forbid they're one of our members and they've done that. We have no, wrist slapping authority to do anything to them. So that's why we really need the federal government to step up here.
yeah. Well, I love it. This is really fantastic. We got to remind people where they can register, how they can register for the conference, and sponsor. Right, you have sponsorships and
We
exhibitorships,
certainly
right?
do. Yeah, we're trucking.org and our events page. I know Ruthie and Kayla are working behind the scenes, so hopefully they'll throw that up there. But yeah, we certainly are. Like everything, we count on the support of our industry to keep it going.
Yeah, definitely get in there, y'all, and register. Want to see you there. There are some phenomenal sponsorships. I saw that available, as well as some great exhibitor opportunities. I love the fact that the happy hour is in the expo hall too. So you're having a couple drinks, and
Yeah.
you might buy $1 million worth of boxes or something. You never
There's
know.
only space for about 5 more tabletops, so they are going fast.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And then we're also doing a Love and Relo. We're doing Love and Relo shows from the conference as well. So we're going to be giving people a glimpse into the networking and kind of the general energy at the Moving and Storage Conference in Nashville. So really excited about that,
Yeah.
featuring members and all that. So really thrilled about that opportunity. So thank
Yeah.
you,
Can't wait.
Dan. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You know what, Dan? Let's have a little more fun. You want to play a game, Dan?
I love games.
All right, let's play some
it.
games. All right, this game's called Overrated, Underrated. Do
Yeah.
you know how to play the game, Dan?
I think so.
All right, let's see if we can muddle through this here, okay? I'm going to give you a topic, and you are going to tell me if this is overrated or underrated. Got it?
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you if you're right. All right, let's go ahead.
These are right or wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, it's in the nature.
You surveyed 100 people, and they.
I surveyed 100 people, threw out 99 of the answers, and kept mine. Here we go. It's like Family Feud, but there's one person surveyed. Overrated, underrated. First one up. Networking.
Oh, underrated. There's no, face-to-face networking. You cannot beat it. You need to take yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't just exchange cards, but you have to, commit to, set a goal for yourself. Collect 10 cards. Have conversations with at least 5 people and follow up with at least 3 of them each day. You have to force yourself, and you can't just sit on the sidelines or be passive when you go to this. That's the ultimate ROI is, the networking of who you've met.
I love it. Now, I think you're totally right. It's so funny coming out of COVID. There was questions: will we ever get together again?
Yeah.
Will everyone just kind of cocoon and do everything virtually? And we've seen meetings are even more in demand, and more people are more passionate about meeting. It seems like
Absolutely.
than ever. And I think that it's because there's so much noise out there online, right? There's so much AI, and there's so much, virtual, and there's so much noise. And you know what cuts right through it? A handshake, a hug, a laugh, looking somebody in the eye. And there's just no, you can't replicate that. So love it. Absolutely love it. Couldn't agree with you more. Networking's really built my career. No better place to do it than Nashville in March. All right. That was an easy one though, Dan. Okay. That was a softball. All right. Next one up. Overrated, underrated, lobbying.
Oh, I would say underrated. I mean, you have to, if I haven't mentioned it, you have to think about there's at least 2 sides to every issue. If you're not going up to meet with your members of Congress, you have to assume your opponent is, and they're telling the they're telling their side of their story. I mean, let's go back to that military moving issue. Without naming names, the federal contractor had a presence. They continue to have a presence here in Washington. They're telling their side of the story. If they're the only ones telling their side of the story, that's all that lawmakers are going to hear. So you have to tell your side of the story as well.
Yeah, it's such a great point, right? I mean, it's just like any he said, she said, right? Somebody's in front of you telling their side of the story, you tend to believe that side, right? And yeah, what a great way to put it. Yeah, and then you look at the ROI on lobbying, because I look at whether it be these drug manufacturers or whatever, right? And you look at, wow, this company spent X amount of dollars in lobbying, but then you look at the billions of dollars of revenue that they've made on something, right? Or their stock prices done this or whatever. And you're like, gosh, they only spent 150 grand. It wasn't that much money, to be honest with you, right? Yeah, the ROI on lobbying seems huge.
I also think the folks that do this just once a year also think they don't realize it's a marathon. No matter the issue, no matter how commonsensical it is, take cargo theft for instance. I think the billions of dollars of theft from our pockets, and it still hasn't been crossed the finish line. It's getting very close. It's probably going to be marked up in January, but anything, even something that's bipartisan, there really is no opposition to it. Still takes a very long time. So you are competing with a lot of different ideas.
Yeah, it's a pretty cut and dried issue too. You wouldn't have to think that would be very very hard, right? Cargo theft. There's nobody on the other side of cargo theft. Like, it's like, should be an easy one, right? Slam dunk. All right. Another point for Dan. He's on the heater here. All right, let's keep it going. Overrated, underrated. Next one up. Business cards.
Oh.
Physical paper business cards, Dan.
Underrated for a couple of reasons. One, I think the artwork can be a conversation starter. I've seen my very first ones were vertical, and I've never had a vertical business card ever since then. The ones I have now are double-sided. I think it's a conversation starter. Bill Lovejoy, who we both know, he has, I think you've probably received it, he has a virtual or electronic business card. He'll come up to you with his phone and share his business card virtually. So again, they're conversation starters, but you have to, for lack of a better word, you have to take the bait and enter into the conversation. You can't just, flip it or walk away. And I also think, they're also underrated for those giveaways. If I see a Yeti cooler, I'm kicking myself for not having a business card.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. It's so funny. I mean, business cards, these have been around since, for hundreds of years, and they still apply. They still hit for the same reason. I mean, you're putting a flyer in somebody's pocket. They get home, they put it on the nightstand. It's there. We don't throw out business. We very rarely throw them out. We might put them into a stack. We might put them into a book. We might put them in a desk drawer, but we rarely throw them out. And if we like the person, we might keep it on our desk for like 2 years. Yeah. And we just see it.
Very true. Very true. The first one, I've got several on my desk from this industry. I have a coworker who he has a vertically framed set of every one of his business cards from start to finish. So assuming he's at his last job, but I think that's pretty unique too. I don't think I have every one of my business cards.
I had them for a while, but I moved a few times, and I think I misplaced them. That would be really cool to keep, like a business card from every job you had.
I have one of my father. I have a couple of my fathers from years ago.
That's like emotional, dude. That's like really cool. Rob Zeit says business cards should be like basketball cards and have stats and fun facts on the back of them. I mean, imagine having a Dan Hilton rookie, like a first print, right out of college, analyst, Dan Hilton analyst rookie card. Like,
I like that.
Nobody even knew this guy was gonna make the league, and look at him now. I mean,
you might be onto something. You might
Ben Cross call center rep card. Like, I mean, dude with the hologram. I mean, that might be something.
One of my first gigs was a call center too. I only lasted. I won't say I lasted a day because it was my fourth job. But remember Zogby International, the pollster?
No.
Well,
No.
that was in Utica, New York, Zogby International,
And
and
they were doing polls?
polling. I only did it for a day because it was my fourth job, and I'm like, I don't need to do this one too. That was the summer after I graduated from the great institution of
The great institution of Great Lakers.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a great little poli-sci fourth job you got there, polling people. Exit polls say with a plus minus of 5 that. All right, business cards, yeah, super underrated. You know what? And I print off some really nice business cards. We have like this nice satin finish. They have curved edges. They have like this card stock to them. We put our face on them. We put a little QR code so that you can also scan them and so that it is into your phone as well. But then you keep the actual physical card. We do all that, and then I don't carry them with me. And
That's something I've never done. I do think it is underrated, putting a face on a business card, because you forget what the person looks like. I think that's helpful, but it's a lot to fit in there.
It's a lot, especially for me. All right, next one up: overrated, underrated. Ping pong tables.
Overrated. I'll be honest with you. I mean, they're noisy. You have to have a partner. I think they're overrated.
Ping pong tables.
You're talking ping pong tables.
Flip up. They flip up. The one side flips up, and you could do the Gump. You can do the Forrest Gump.
You can. Now, you were talking exclusively in the workplace, though?
I mean, presumably.
Okay. Now, I think they're overrated, to be honest with you. I think more important is your company culture. Perks like that, I think, aren't as. I think they're overrated. I think.
Yeah. We have a couple arcade games here, and we have NBA Jam and we have Golden Tee. Golden Tee gets no run, but NBA Jam, I play that twice a day, and I only play with a couple people. But I tell you, I do think it makes me close with those people.
We have shuffleboard, which is, I guess, the long, and I've used that once, and no one ever goes to use it.
Yeah. Well, I think the boss has to play too. If the boss is playing, then everybody kind of gets into it.
Absolutely.
Because culture is a top-down thing. So, yeah, ping pong table's overrated. I do like games in the workplace, though. But I do know what you mean. They do collect dust sometimes.
I did hear of a great idea. I proposed it at my last gig that never took off, called Brain Breaks. Just putting a big jigsaw puzzle like in a common area. I think that is more valuable. Something I'm gonna try to push after the new year. But you just walk by, you convene for like 5 minutes, and I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. I saw that actually. I was at my finance person's office yesterday, and they have that in their break room. They have a big old jigsaw. Now the problem was the jigsaw puzzle was completed, and now I don't know what they do with it.
Right.
Now it's just sitting there. I wanted to go and mess it all up because that's me. Just disrupt it like that. All right, ping pong. We're gonna give it to him, Samara. All right, we got one more. All right, overrated, underrated. Last one up, Nashville.
Underrated. I mean, it's what is it? The bachelorette capital of the world. It's really nearby for everyone on the East Coast. I mean, it is truly underrated. And if you hadn't heard, last year when we were there a week earlier, and the SEC basketball championship just was starting when we were all leaving on Wednesday. Well, this year it's kind of cool that the semifinal. Two semifinal games will be on Saturday, and the championships will be on Sunday when everyone's arriving. What's really neat is, events like that, tickets are easier because, you don't know if your team's going to be in it or not until they win or lose. So if you have tickets, if you're holding tickets and your team lost, you're probably not going to go to the game. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, actually, and St. Patrick's Day is that Thursday of that week.
Wednesday.
And,
it's going to be the day of our Movers Bash is going to be on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be a lot of fun. It could be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot going on there. It's going to be great. March Madness kicks off that Thursday.
Yeah.
Which is the day after it all concludes. So you might stick around. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
Yep. Selection Sunday is the first night of the conference.
Man, a lot going on. You got the Bachelorette capital of the world. Got a whole bunch of movers in town. What could go wrong? All right, sounds great. Definitely sign up for the ATA MSC in Nashville, March 15th through the 17th. Do we got early bird pricing still open, Dan?
We do early bird pricing until February 8th. So still a little bit more time. First time attendee pricing, early bird pricing. So go check us out at trucking.org at our events tab.
Trucking.org events. All right, awesome. This is great. I can't wait to see everybody there. Thanks, everybody. Get in the comments, hit that like button. Let us know if you'll be out there in Nashville. Can't wait to see you all there. Dan, thank you so much. You got a wonderful team. Shout out to the team there at the ATA. I can't wait to see you all out there in Nashville.
Thanks. This is great. Looking forward to it. See you then.
Yeah. See you everybody.